If you want, why don't you give a little intro about yourself? Tell us how'd you get here? Are you a native Texan? I mean, you're wearing the crimson, but you're a Longhorn fan. You got to do some explaining here.
I definitely can explain this, but it won't be a short, small intro. I mean, I'll go ahead and kind of give you a lot of backstory because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't really know who I am. They know of me and about me, but
Sure.
not really me. So yeah, I'm from here in Texas. I grew up in the Beaumont-Port Arthur area. Nearly all my childhood, I was homeless and in foster care. At the age of 12, I moved in with friends that I met through the Salvation Army. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. Neither parent got past 6th grade. My brothers and sisters never graduated high school. I became the first person in my family's history to graduate high school. And all my life, coming from where I come from, you hear these words, you can't, all your life, you can't do this, you can't do that. And in high school, I wanted to be a quarterback. And they're like, you can't do that, you don't have a name, it's impossible. I graduated in the number 4 in my class, and I was an all-district quarterback. But the family I moved in with, we had an agreement that when I graduated, they couldn't take care of me or help me out with college, so I joined the Air Force. My dream was to be a cop. So I went in the Air Force. I got stationed at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. And that's significant because my life takes a different path in Utah. While I was in the military, my biological dad has been disabled nearly his entire life, fished for a living. And he had been in a serious boating accident. He put his arm up to stop the boat motor from hitting his face, and it chopped his arm all, and he almost died. At 19 years old, my dad became my dependent. I'd be basically my man-child from the age of 19 all the way up till his death in 2015. This is while I was in the Air Force. And I was in the Air Force, and I was stationed overseas. My dad had a caretaker to take care of him because he was going through surgery and stuff, and that person abandoned him while I was overseas. And I had a choice to make, to either sacrifice my military career or give my father up as a dependent, and you just don't turn from responsibility. So I exited the military, and somehow I ended up in the art gallery business. I went into Park City, Utah, because every winter I got volunteered for overseas duty, like Bahrain, and went into an art gallery to do their computer work. And the lady says, well, we're actually looking for a sales consultant. And I said, ma'am, I hate art and I hate sales. And she's like, you'll be perfect for this job. And I'm like, I don't think you heard me, but within a year and a half in that business, I became the best salesman in that company and rose to the top. But then I heard that word again, you can't. I was an assistant director. I was 22 or 23 years old, no education. And they said, you can't become a director because you're young and you have no education. So I did what any rational 23-year-old would do at that time. I found a partner. I bought an art gallery up the street, and within 3 months I put my old company out of business and had my partner paid off. The problem is, my life growing up, everything's been about a handshake. Your honor is in your handshake. That's your word. I didn't have much growing up, and there's not a whole lot that I have, but your honor is very important. And this person took advantage of that. And in 2005, he informed me that I was just an employee and that it was not my business. So I moved back down to Texas in 2005, I think it was April 2005, and lived on a couch in Comonil near Jasper and Lufkin. I started Angelina Junior College with one goal in mind, to be a lawyer, to make sure that I can protect myself and others again. I worked the art gallery business all throughout my career, or school career, while I was taking care of my father. I graduated number 1 out of 1,108 students at Sam Houston. I went to Thurgood School of Law, Marsh School of Law here in Houston, graduated magna cum laude, and I'm like, well, why stop there? I got a master's degree in tax law at University of Houston. And then, yeah, that's right, and then there was a, change. I was set to go into tax law. I was working for a tax firm here in Houston, and I got a call from the DA's office. I had recently, while I was getting my master's in tax law, I submitted to do an internship at the DA's office. And they said, well, Mr. Simons, we don't hire lawyers to be interns. I'll just put you in the other stack. I paid no attention to it. Well, I get a phone call in April or October of 2013, said, we'd like to interview you. And I'm like, man, kind of hesitating. Do I really want to do this? I kind of got a path. So I went in and interviewed with Karen at the DA's office, and it was a pretty good interview. They invited me for a second interview with Michelle Onken and another really good interview. And I'm like, man, this is not bad. And then they invited me for a third interview. This interview was probably the most hostile interview I've ever gone to in my life. It was about 19 or 20 high-ranking DA officials in the room. It was like a horseshoe, and you're standing in the middle, just getting bombarded. And I mean, it's about standing your ground. And they started asking me questions, and I asked them questions back and started interviewing them. And some didn't like that, but my feelings is this: if I'm going to come work for you, what am I going to get out of it? What am I going to sacrifice? Because I'm leaving a six-figure career for $60,000. And I left there, and I think it was Aaron Burdett, another judicial candidate, was walking out and said, well, we'll be in touch in a few weeks, kind of let you know. Well, they called me like the next day and offered me the job. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. I just had this interview. I don't know if this is for me. So they said, look, come in and just watch one of the courts and see if you like it. So I went in and I watched criminal court number 11, Judge Bull's court.
Judge Bull.
And within 2 hours of watching, the decision was made that this is the right place for me. You know what, walking away from the art gallery business, walking away from the tax law to work the DA's office, it just felt like the right decision. And that's how my career started in the DA's office. So it kind of gives you a little bit of backstory on how I got to where the DA's office started.
I mean, tax law to being a prosecutor.
Well,